the voter turnout here at Muzaffarnagar constituency is also been very good. So far, our sources are telling us that almost 70% of people actually turned out to vote in this parliamentary constituency. Though we are waiting for the official figures from the Election Commission, this is a very encouraging sign. And there were not that many complaints which had come to the district administration as well, and no untoward or violent episodes reported. Though we must reiterate that there was still a lot of tension in the air, especially for the riot victims who came out to vote today. Some of them could of course vote in the polling booths where they had relocated and resettled, but some others actually had to make the distance back to the village, to that village which they had left behind, the riot-hit villages, in order to cast their vote. Here's the story. This is how they had fled their homes. Today they returned on the same tractor trolleys back to their villages to vote. Around 150 riot victims travelled from their makeshift homes in Jogia Khera village to Fugana. Fugana was one of the villages badly affected in the Muzaffarnagar riots. Women especially are falling short of words to describe this experience for them, but they have the assurance of some security forces who are ahead of these tractors and trolleys which are taking them to the polling station, because their names had not been shifted from that polling booth to the new ones where they were staying. 35-year-old Gulshana breaks down as the trolley enters the lanes leading up to her village. She was pregnant when violence changed her life forever. She and her husband had to leave their home overnight. 7 months later, with her child in her arms, she has come back to vote. आपके घर से किसी की मौत हो गई थी?
जी, मेरे ससुरा काटा था जी।
ससुर की मौत हुई थी। अपना घर भी देखना चाहेंगी, वापस वहाँ पे जाना चाहेंगी उन गलियों में जहाँ से?
हाँ जी, वैसे घर दिखा दे, पर गाँव में जाना नहीं चाहते जी।
Gulshana just couldn't. She left immediately after voting, but some mustered the courage. It was their chance to go home. After 7 months, for the first time, they saw the burnt remains of their houses. Tears rolling down from memories that still bring nightmares. But when asked if they ever consider moving back, the answer was a resounding no. क्या आप इसलिए बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि आप लोगों को मुआवजा?
नहीं, मुआवजे से पहले भी ऐसे बोला है कि वहाँ पे जो खेड़े में मुआवजे से पहले भी ऐसे बोला, हमारे को गाँव में नहीं जाना.
One of their major concerns, from over 5,000 riots accused, only 330 had been arrested so far. Jat leaders in Fugana claim they have never stopped Muslims from returning, but admit that till the politically divisive rhetoric continues, nothing will change.
ये वोट की राजनीति इनकी चलती रहेगी, एक पक्ष को बरगलाते रहेंगे और दूसरा पक्ष जो है सो नाराज होगा.
Muzaffarnagar has been at the center of divisive politics in recent times, impacting not just local but also national politics. Even as people in this riot-hit district exercise their right to vote under the shadow of a gun, questions still remain as to when the tension in this area will die out. With camera person Alphonse in Muzaffarnagar, Tanima Biswas for NDTV. Right, we'll quickly go across to some people over here from Jogia Khera village, including riot victims who went out to vote in that riot-torn village today. आप बताइए, आप फुगाने से है, आज वापस आप फुगाने में गए वोट डालने के लिए, आप लोग तुरंत वापस भी आ गए, ज्यादा रुके नहीं. माहौल कैसा था? इतने दिनों बाद आप उस गांव में वापस गए जब?
8 महीने के बाद अपने वोट का प्रयोग करने के लिए गए जाट समाज के अंदर. वही नफरत की आग देखी हमने, प्यार नहीं देखा उनकी नजरों में.
किसी ने आके आपसे बात नहीं की?
जी नहीं.
नसीम जी, आप ये बताइए कि आप लोग यहाँ पे मैनेज कर रहे थे पूरा जो इनको लेके जाना और वापस आना, किस तरह से सुरक्षा के तौर से कैसे मतलब अरेंजमेंट्स थे, और आपको लगता है कि ये एक पॉजिटिव स्टेप है कि लोग वापस गए, इससे मतलब रिलेशंस बेहतर होंगे? आपको क्या लगता है?
नहीं, ये तो सुरक्षा तो हमें सरकार ने बहुत अच्छी दे रखी थी. सुरक्षा के हिसाब से तो हम कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी हमें, लेकिन जैसे ही हमने गाँव में देखा तो लोगों में नफरत वाकई आई थी, हमें प्यार नहीं देखा. और हम गए इसलिए थे कि हम एक सेकुलर पार्टी को वोट दें, ताकि जो खूनी पार्टी है उनसे हम बच सकें और हमें इंसाफ मिल सके. हमने ऐसी पार्टी को वोट किया ताकि
हम नहीं जानना चाहते आपने किसको वोट किया, वो हम पूछ भी नहीं सकते, बट हम ये बोल रहे हैं कि आपको लगता है कि इससे थोड़ा सा रिलेशंस बेहतर हो सकता है?
नहीं, आज जैसे हमने उनका माहौल देखा, इससे तो रिलेशन बेहतर की उम्मीद नहीं है, क्योंकि वही नफरत है हम लोगों में.
सर, एक क्वेश्चन हम पूछना चाहते हैं आपसे कि किस तरह से आपको लगता है कि यहाँ पे अभी जो आज इतने लोग आए बाहर वोट करने के लिए, कोई ऐसा मतलब वायलेंस नहीं हुआ, तो ये एक पॉजिटिव साइन है मुजफ्फरनगर के लिए। मुजफ्फरनगर के लिए ये एक अच्छा साइन है कि आज कोई ऐसा वायलेंस रिपोर्ट नहीं हुआ।
कुछ नहीं हुआ, आज नॉर्मल।
अच्छा, हम आपसे फिर से बात करने के लिए आए हैं, बट आएंगे, बट फर्स्ट वी हैव टू कट अक्रॉस लाइव टू द इलेक्शन कमीशन प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस व्हिच हैज जस्ट बिगन।
Uttar Pradesh. In Uttar Pradesh, this was the first phase. As you know, Uttar Pradesh is having 6 phases in all in the parliament elections. The number of constituency which went for polls today were 10, involving 11 districts. The total number of electors here were 1.74 crores in all. We have the candidates. Number of candidates that we had today were 146. The total party-wise list of candidates, they were total 146, as I said. Then the ECI observers, general observers were 10, expenditure observers were 10 for each parliamentary constituency. We deployed 2,365 micro observers in the polling stations, and we had 1,921 digital cameras, 721 video cameras, and we did webcasting from 423 polling stations. Live webcasting was done in a big number in UP as well. There was no untoward incident in entire phase that we had today. The percentage poll which has been recorded till now is 65%. This is almost 14 percentage points more than what we had in 2009. It was 51.30 in the year 2009. I can read out the PC wise the poll percentage that has been recorded, which is like this: Aligarh 60.04.
Slowly.
Yes. Aligarh has been 60.04. Bagpat has been 65.60. Bijnor 65.38. Bulandshahr 59.36. Gautam Budh Nagar 58.83. That is not. Noida, Ghaziabad 60.20. Hapur 63.65. Meerut 62.68. Sorry, Meerut 62.68. Muzaffarnagar has recorded 67.78, and similarly Shamli has recorded 70.85. They have recorded more than the average, both the parliamentary constituency, and Saharanpur has recorded 70.64. I'll repeat: Muzaffarnagar 67.78, Shamli 70.85, and Saharanpur has recorded 70.64. Combinedly, it comes to around 65%. We may expect some further increase. As I mentioned, there has not been any untoward incident worth reporting. The third state which I am going to mention is about Jammu and Kashmir. As you know, Jammu and Kashmir is also going for 5-phase election. Today's was the first phase, and Jammu constituency was in today's phase, involving 4 districts: Sambha, Jammu, Rajouri and Poonch. The total number of electors involved in today's phase have been 18.48 lakhs. The total number of candidates who were in the fray today were 19. The total number of polling stations were 2,274. The general observers were 3, expenditure observer was 1, and police observer also we had deployed. It was 1. We had 201 micro observers deployed today.
That's right. So encouraging signs there, as the Election Commission clearly pointed out that Muzaffarnagar, Saharanpur and Shamli districts, which had in fact Muzaffarnagar and Shamli specifically been affected by the riots, have recorded a voter turnout which is above average, touching on 70%, which is a great news for people over here. In fact, as we were speaking to some of them, they also said कि सर अभी Election Commission से एक खबर आई है कि almost 70% वोटिंग हुई है मुजफ्फरनगर और शामली से. बहुत हाई हुआ है पिछले पार्लियामेंट्री इलेक्शन से ज्यादा। तो आपको लगता है ये एक एनकरेजिंग साइन है, एक अच्छा मतलब अभी इस बार जो प्रचलन हुआ है कि इतने सारे लोग बाहर आए वोट करने के लिए, और इस बार वोटिंग इम्पोर्टेंट थी?
प्यार से सबने वोटिंग बड़े इंटरेस्ट लेके डाला, इसलिए परसेंटेज बढ़ी है पिछली बार से।
आप क्या कहेंगे? आप पुगाने में गए आज वापस, और अभी इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कहा है कि इतने सारे लोग आज बाहर आए, वोटर टर्नआउट हाई थी, अच्छा था, तो आप क्या कहेंगे इस बारे में?
इसके बारे में तो ये कहना है जी, देखो मतलब सभी ने अच्छा दिलचस्पी से मतलब पोलिंग किया है, और सभी को एक रुचि थी, मतलब अच्छी वोट डालने की। और मतलब जैसा हम पुगाने गांव में गए तो अब से मतलब कुछ दिन पहले जैसा दंगा हुआ था, हमें नहीं जाना था, लेकिन फिर भी हम एक मोहब्बत की जोश में वहाँ गए और जाकर वहाँ से मतलब वोट डालकर मतलब वापसी चली आई।
Okay, so that was of course some of these people who had gone back to the rioted villages in order to vote.